Remember, in August of 2022, it was Governor Abbott who sent her buses from Texas. He was completely overwhelmed. He said, well, I got to send them to sanctuary cities, sanctuary states, and New York City was one of them. The other cities were relatively quiet receiving them, but not Eric Adams. Swagger man with no plan decided to flex down at the Port Authority. He had a receiving line. He was wearing $5,000 customized suits. He was joined at some point by Cardinal Dolan, who was saying, give us your tired, your poor, those who need a place of their own. And then I began to inform you that a lot of the monies that were being used to transport these illegals were actually Catholic charities. Nothing from the collection plate on Sundays in the church, all from Joe Biden's federal administration that was funneling money to NGOs like Catholic Charity, the largest, other religious and non-religious organizations that were making money hand over fist. This became human trafficking because there's a lot of money on both sides of the border to the coyotes and the narco gangbangers who transport them. They make more money now transporting humans than they do bringing fentanyl and other drugs over the border. Human trafficking on both sides is an enormous business. And so we've kept you pace every step of the way. 2 weeks ago, we indicated that based on our patrols, we noticed that a lot of the young men who were hanging out by day on 42nd Street outside of what used to be the biggest McDonald's in the world, right between 7th Avenue, 8th Avenue on the south side before you hit the Port Authority on 8th Avenue, was the world's largest Mickey D's. And having been a former McDonald's manager, I explained to everybody that, hey, they never made a penny. McDonald's Corporation, Oak Brook, Illinois, that then moved to Chicago, never made a penny in that McDonald's, even though it was the world's largest. It really had it there for the signage. They sold products, but they really didn't make money. And it was worth it to them. And then the lockdown and pandemic came, and it wasn't worth it any longer because few, if any, tourists were coming. Traffic was down to just a small number of people, so they closed that Mickey D's. And then when the migrants started coming in, one of the first locations that Eric Adams' administration looked to house them was in that old Mickey D's. Many of them single able-bodied young men of military age with nothing to do, nowhere to go, mostly Venezuela. And I have posted videos as we've patrolled the area, walked around the area. And for the most part, at first, they were pretty cool, calm, and collected, getting a lay of the land. Some of them would be smoking weed. That's been decriminalized. They'd be drinking cerveza. But most of them just trying to figure out what the hell they were going to do here. And they began to see that Americans were shoplifting, boosting products, pickpocketing, getting into fights, no arrests. This is Alvin Bragg land, Manhattan, where Eric Adams, a brother in solidarity with Alvin Bragg, will never name or shame Alvin Bragg because, let's face it, he's afraid of getting indicted and possibly having to go to jail for political corruption from the U.S. Attorney of the Southern District and the upcoming trial of his appointee to the as Commissioner of Buildings, who is Eric Ulrich, who owed $600,000 in gambling debts to the Bonanno crime family. So he's extraordinarily cautious. But basically, whether you're a migrant, whether you're an American, whether you're a tourist, doesn't matter who you are. If you commit crimes in the borough of Manhattan, nothing happens to you. And I think increasingly the migrants, especially the Venezuelans, whose numbers were larger than any other migrant group, determined that, hey, there's money that could be made here in criminal activity. Not all of them, but some of them. And they've been going to town. They've been feasting on Times Square. They've been going in and out of the stores. They've been jostling, pickpocketing. They've been doing it on the subway platforms at both the A train, the C train, the E train on 8th Avenue, the 2, 1, and 3 on 7th Avenue. And they've been caught. Many of them over at, they take the shuttle to Grand Central. They're on the platform, the 4, 5, and 6. And they've been caught. And then naturally they get cut loose because they're untouchables. So I'm not telling you anything that I haven't told you over weeks and weeks and weeks. And then last week, at an appearance on the Sean Hannity show, I said, we're going to have to crack down because it's obvious the police have been given orders from One Police Plaza headquarters that the migrants are untouchables because they were invited here by Eric Adams, who said that he would give them all the amenities that they didn't even get in their third world countries or couldn't even be provided by their mothers. And the Venezuelans have been extraordinarily aggressive. And you saw what they did to our brave police officers, two of whom got the beatdown of their life. They've made some arrests since, but they're $1 short and a day late. And they really have not done their intel work as we have. So what happened last night is we're doing a live hit with Sean, as we had done a week ago, and I'm giving an update. And all of a sudden, the Guardian Angel spot guys, 3 of them. One of them with items that he had obviously just taken. They all had the tags on them, baby clothes sticking out of his backpack. He was given beef as the Guardian Angels moved in on him. His other 2 buddies backed off. They gave us beef at first. And then we had to take down the guy who had the backpack full of the stolen items because he was just belligerent. Took him down. The cops came. They arrested him. They took him away. I've noticed the police have said, we arrested him because he was interfering with the broadcast. No. You don't arrest people for interfering with the broadcast. Come on. I've been doing this, 45 years. Our 45th anniversary of the Guardian Angels will take place on February 13th. I've been involved in many situations where people have tried to bogart an interview, have interfered, and they don't get arrested. That's ridiculous. The cops arrested him and said we're going to get him, going to check him on the shoplifting charge, obviously assault. They took him away. The other 2 guys walked away. And we went back to the business of what we've been doing, which is patrolling the area because it is completely out of control. As a result, I noticed in some of the comments, Justin Ellick, they're calling me a xenophobe, they're calling me racist, a gang, beating down these migrants. Notice that if you look at the picture of the Guardian Angels, it's interracial. You got blacks, whites, Hispanics, Asians, males, females. We're unarmed. We've been doing this for 45 years. 6 of us have been shot and killed in the line of duty, many more seriously injured. Never asked for a dime or a penny from this city or any city around the world where we patrol. So we are doing this because this is our city. And our police have been prevented from doing anything. And the suits at City Hall are all bent out of shape. And obviously the police establishment at One Police Plaza, they just don't know what to do. In fact, can we go once again to Eddie Caban? He is the missing in action police commissioner. I don't know, he's usually out of town, describing a group that they busted up in the Bronx with connections to Venezuelan gangs. And listen to how out of touch he is and the NYPD.
They're essentially ghost criminals. No criminal history, no photos, no cell phone, no social media.
And that's because he will not work with ICE because he is prevented from doing so both by Kathy Hochul at the state level and Eric Adams at the city level. So because there is this huge void, we, the Guardian Angels, like we have done over 45 years, will fill it. Call us what you want. We're volunteers. We risk our life. We don't ask anything in return. And we got the naysayers going to call me a racist, going to call me a xenophobe. Hey, look, get online. When we first began the demonstrations to stop the migrant shelters from being spread in all 5 boroughs, I got called that too. And we successfully were able to stop or close about 8 of them. So call me whatever you want. This is for our city, this is for America, and this is for the fact that our elected officials are doing nothing but encouraging the migrants to come in. Their papachulo, Joe Biden. Their padron is Eric Adams. And they won't let the cops do their job because the migrants have become an untouchable class.